I want to be black man, held in quiet, small spoon, soft body. I feel as though I am black man, holding in loudness, spoon fed that I need to be hard body. I feel like nobody when somebody kills my softness to be tough. Call it tough love. Tough love is being punched until you don't cry, and crying is the only thing that stops the punching from hurting as much. Yeah, 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 yeah.
My name is Lindo. I go by LindoYes. I'm a poet, I'm a comic book writer, and I'm a community organizer. I started the Poetry Gumball initiative because I wanted to, expand my art, but I wanted to do something to show people that, like, yo, I recognize that you may feel alienated, that you may feel alone, and even though I can't be always in proximity to you or the people you want in proximity to you, I want you to know there's people that is willing to listen to you, people that are here, um, even without knowing that you exist. And I talked about it with my homies for a minute. We brainstormed, and they was like, "Yo, what if you like put your buttons inside gumball machines?" I was like, "Oh, that sounds real cute." I think about that for a bit. And then it was kind of like a ripple effect. I read this article about the 24/7 mental health line, and I was like, "Oh my God, how many people know about this?" I didn't always have accessibility. I didn't always have the the funds, the insurance to sit down with a therapist, or you know go through that, the barriers, or even how to combat those barriers of just like detoxing myself from toxic masculinity until I sat with a therapist in college. A memory that started to come in my head was just like how many times my grandma had took me to the gumball machine, and it served a purpose of just like providing me roses, of just like enduring times where I was without, that I could deal with having something that felt so symbolic. So I was like, I want to do that for people. And it's like I feel as though sometimes the social responsibility of an artist is to make movements and change so irresistible. So I was like, yo, my art can do that. So it's like if I can pair up something that's very nostalgic with something that is wearable art that can be symbolic to your journey, and then give you the information, because now it all becomes attractive. I can make more people aware of just like an entry level to just start their mental health. So I just reached out to a few homies, I built some relationships, and I was like, yo, I got this idea. I don't know how it's gonna work, but I know I got all the resources to do it right now and act on it. And people just was like, yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what's pop off.
My name is Daphne Smallwood. I am an artist, educator, community artist. I'm the founder of Freedom Marks organization, and I've lived in Philly all my life, and we were a part of a traveling group of artists, professionals. He texted me. He asked me, he said he has a project. He would want me to participate in it, and he needed an artist to do artwork. People have childhood connections to gumball machines, and when you turn a gumball machine, you want something sweet, you want that dopamine. So I feel like they kind of get something that's even sweeter and long lasting than just a piece of gum or candy.
I first met Lindo at a protest where I was actually on the megaphone, and Lindo offered me some cough drops because, after yelling on the megaphone for so long, your throat starts to hurt a bit. And then afterwards, I got to hear some of Lindo's poems at a show. And once I heard his poems, I was so inspired and impressed that I asked him to perform at our Liberation Center grand opening.
But tell me, when do we ever feel safe? Because there's no vault for our emotions, so we be feeling like, no one be feeling like, man, no one be feeling like us. So we always feel alone, but never alone. And all we want to do is feel like the hero. You know, save ourselves and a few others. Well, that's the irony right there. Because most people are birthed with a superpower. You know, alien to this world, flying high, because he's above it all, to avoid a space, looking down at the world, listening to all the world problems, thinking all the world problems is his, and his problems is the world. Well, that's the worldview of most people. They'd rather hide their smiles and a frown. In the same places where they greet haters with middle fingers. In the same places where they have their arms as open as 7-Elevens to embrace who you are. In the same places where they give their hearts out like organ donors, just to show how much they love you.
He did a play about it, and I was directing that. And honestly, one of the best directing experiences ever. We had a lot of fun working on that, but it really helped me connect, like, the words in his poetry and what the stories he told in between were really helped me connect, like, why he was, like, just putting up gumball machines. So at first I was like, oh, that's cute, but I didn't really understand what the significance was, so being able to see that and be a part of that process really helped me.
And since then, we've had the opportunity to work really closely together. I first heard about the Gumball initiative actually in West Philly when we had co-organized a block party together, and he first showcased it there, and I was so excited, you know, not only for myself, but for the community, and got to see firsthand kids and adults both enjoying the Gumball machine and really getting to enjoy not only the poem, but also learn about some resources. I'll never forget one of the adults who was there, you know, spun the Gumball machine and was like really excited because he was like, oh man, like this was so popular when I was a kid and I loved Gumball machines and I loved getting the little prizes. And then getting to see him read the poem and then also see that there was resources on there about mental health. Just seeing the light in his face really was special to me.
I want to say I saw Lindo on Instagram first, saw some of the poetry that he worked on, some of the things that he was writing, and so that was extremely exciting. And then there was a meeting that we had here at Mighty Writers, and they offered this project that was a gumball machine project, and they were asking who all wanted to work with them, what they wanted to be done. And so we agreed, and we wanted to see, you know, how that would work out with all of our students. And then once we heard his platform and different things like that, we decided that maybe it was just best for the middle school students because they could process what was going on, be more helpful, be more hands-on than the little guys.
I was excited to do a lot of artwork and drawing and coloring. I done most of the designs, the coloring. I designed the robot. I colored in the Mighty Writers logo, and I did some of the dots.
I wanted to just like do the community fridges because I love the initiative that they had in Philadelphia. So I reached out to South Philly Community Fridge, then, you know, Mighty Writers, because I like what they're doing in the community of just like distributing food as well as providing literacy through the form of just like you can be a writer, reading is entertaining. You know, constantly we hear this word of just like underserved, but a lot of times people are not underserved, they're just under resources because they want to do the work but they don't have all the things they need to do the work. That was all my like thought behind that, is like who's doing the work and how I compare myself to amplify and add on to the work that they were doing. Mental health, I'm gonna have to keep it real like uptown with y'all. It just means like realizing that sometimes when you feel fucked up about a situation, it doesn't mean that you are a failure. Sometimes it just means that systems itself are failing you. And as much as we feel alienated with those issues, we are not alone.
Mental health to me is really about our emotions and how we are feeling, and that can manifest in so many different ways. So your mental health can manifest in the ways of your emotions and your physical body and how your physical body feels. And so really just having the opportunity to express yourself, I think, helps with your mental health. And again, like, having connection is really vital to human life. And that's a way in which we build up those bonds, is a space for us to connect with each other. I think a lot of us are so isolated in the current system that we live in. And so this is an alternative to that. This is, a space for us to exist outside of those systems.
I feel like with anyone, we're human, and so any human struggles admitting their inadequacies. No one likes to admit, I can't, or, I won't, or I don't know, or I don't know how. So that's it's a human thing. But I feel like for our community, or the Black community specifically, we're known for being strong. And so it's like, to admit that we are not that is a hard thing. If anything, if we can start teaching our kids early what mental health is, or, hey, here are these big emotions for these little people. So if we can teach them what they're feeling, or how to process what they're feeling, or say, hey, we can put a name to what's going on in your head. That's a beautiful thing.
I try to keep my head straight, and I try to keep my mindset. Every morning, I try to pray. Every morning, I don't, because I usually forget, or I'm just doing something.
I think a strong community requires communication, and it requires people coming together to help each other.
Through coming to just being in community with each other, doing block parties, or even just going out into the streets to protest, making their voices heard regarding changes in their neighborhood. All of those things help people feel more connected. It's the celebrating together, but also the struggling together that I think really helps strengthen communities.
I chose a location because I was trying to, really touch every part of Philly. And also I love the organizations that they were already doing so much tangible work. Like the food apartheid is another form of neglect that, people are trying to combat. And I saw that with the community fridge, and also just offering programming that is both entertainment as well as it is enriching, which is Mighty Writers is doing, just offering artists that are just under-resourced with just resources that they need, so they can serve their art to the people that want to be both entertained, educated, and just have a sense of relief from just reality. And everything kind of just fell in line with that, of just how can we serve community and who was already doing the community work, and how can I add on to what they're already doing with something that is both functional and also just providing a service. I'm giving out information.
Even the lightest thing, if held for too long, can weigh heavy on the heart, and no one should carry that weight alone.
Cut.
Oh.